WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Come on, Sally. Come on, get in now. Come on, girl. You know you want to. Come on.
Negro. I heard that. I heard that.
They're gonna say, you heard me. I'm about to say it again with your man at. You cold?
What up, Byron? Yeah, I think you used your quota for this month and next month.
Yeah, because y'all know I don't say the N-word on the radio. On the radio.
On the radio.
I would love to tell you that I have progressed beyond that ignorance, but I have not.
It's not ignorance, it's in context. You know, some things are just like bomba clot. And now and then you got to bust it down.
Against the use of the N-word.
That's fine. A lot of them are undercover.
I'm still grown.
But see, a lot of them are ers and not us.
I'm still grown.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating word. It is a fascinating word.
It's
it is
like Samuel Jackson saying, you know, certain curse words.
You know what it's
it brings a certain gravitas.
comfort word.
Oh, no. No. Wait a minute. Yeah,
No.
yeah, it is.
Well, yeah.
Cause look, but it's a powerful word. There's power in it. You know when it's most powerful? When you call the people that originated it. Oh my God, you ought to see them freeze. Be like, no, please. They'd be like,
You won't get white people upset. Just call racist.
No, I call them niggas.
Racist is the N word for white people. I am not racist.
That's because you're scared to call them one. Call
Saturday
them one
night, I was waiting on some food. I didn't know the food. They put the food out after I left because I was at the event.
Was it event Friday or Saturday?
Saturday night.
Saturday. I lost track of my days.
And so Saturday night.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
And so I decided, well, I didn't know I know they said food, but it was.
And it was excellent food.
Oh, the spot is laid out.
That the place is.
I told Rhonda.
Faith Church.
Yeah, I told Rhonda. Woo.
Yeah, they done clown and show.
Clubbing. Got a little disco.
No. Please be advised that is not for anybody. It's not clubbing.
Know what I'm saying? But the setup is.
The spaces.
Oh man, back in the day, that would have been a nice place to hang out. Had the fireplace out there. It was nice.
Yeah.
No. You know, there's a place you too young to know, and I don't think Michelle was here yet. There was a place downtown called the Rapport, the Milwaukee Chess and Backgammon Club. And that was like the spot. I mean, the way they laid it out. So upstairs they had the dance floor. In the basement they had a fireplace. You could play backgammon. You could play chess.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it was so sophisticated.
And that's why I used to like Chick Rick's in Chicago.
Okay.
Because they had the dancing upstairs. They had a comedy club on the lower level. They had like just a bar where you could lounge and relax and chill. So you had different options in that one space.
Right.
But yeah, the brothers and sisters, I don't know who all was at the table on this venture over at that use of that property, but it's an amazing property.
It really is.
They've done their thing.
So I'm at Maxie's, one of my favorite restaurants, and I'm sitting here and some doing what cancers normally do, look at the menu and then order what you normally order. So I'm going through that, got Rhonda's order in. And so the woman and her husband sit next to me. And so they asked me, they said, so is this your first time here? I said, no, I'm kind of like a regular. As a matter of fact.
And where's Maxie's?
68th and Stevenson.
I don't know. I don't go to Maxie's.
It's where Lakeisha had her fundraiser.
I wasn't there.
I didn't know. Where were you?
I was not at her fundraiser.
Okay.
So I've never been.
How you do that?
How you do that? Because I had stuff to do.
Oh, okay. You gotta keep moving. All right. So I'm sitting next to this white couple, and we were just talking about how good the food is. They were having oysters. I can't eat this shell food, and so I don't know how she got to talking about the diversity of her neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm not racist. So the diversity of her neighborhood, she has a Puerto Rican living on her neighborhood, black families, white families.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. And then, of course, now, because the obligatory gay couple, if you're in a very diverse neighborhood, there's at least one gay couple on your block, I think, because we got a couple on ours. So, you know, all right, so we're talking, and so we get to talking about collard greens. Her husband made some collard greens that they had, and so her black friend was eating the collard greens, right? And she said, her black friend said, "Girl, somebody put their foot in these greens." And she goes, "What? What do you mean? What do you mean?" I said, in black culinary circles, foot in it is a very high praise. What is it for Michelin? 2 stars, 3 stars for Michelin?
3.
So when black people say you put your foot in it, that's good.
You did good.
But she was too funny. She was like, "Oh, and I said, yeah, that's what we do." I spend more time at that particular
so
restaurant.
doing DEI work while you try to get
trying to get some food. just I ain't here for black people today.
You out getting doing DEI.
And then I thought
work.
about the time I was there, and a woman and I got into. It wasn't a heated argument. It was an animated argument. We just got to the bartender was thinking, "Oh, what you guys getting ready to?" Because they tell you if you're in a restaurant bar, you probably don't want to talk sex, politics, religion, right?
So
But this woman
thought y'all was about to square up.
Oh, he was, and he was looking at me, right? Oh, no. I do this every day. You know, it's not. But yeah. So she found out that put your foot in it is a compliment when you talk about black food.
At you educating people.
Let me do something else too, because I know you get a little upset with me when I do this, but I don't care about your feelings.
Okay.
You know, by the time Fannie Lou Hamer made that speech, there were people who, I don't know if anybody remember the Mississippi Freedom Party. This was the group that wanted to be seated. Lyndon Johnson was very concerned because he's already getting ready to lose the South because he did the Civil Rights Act, and now he's going to do the Voting Rights Act in 65. He knows he's in trouble, right? Because even in 64, where Kennedy was winning some of those southern states, he wasn't.
Right.
And so they sent Hubert Humphrey. They sent Walter Reuther. Walter Reuther was head of the UAW.
Okay.
Right. And they sent Martin Luther King.
Right.
To talk her down.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of those moments. It was not a great moment of glory for Hubert Humphrey or Martin King.
Yeah.
And I think in some of the accounts was that, well, in effect, it sounds like Johnson was kind of holding that civil rights bill.
He was holding it up.
You know, like if you don't,
because like you said, I'm in trouble. Yep. And at the end of the day, you know,
even though he won by landslide. I mean, he killed Goldwater.
But the belief was, the sentiment at that moment was, you're in trouble. Right. And so you're going to do, you know, and there are people just like even in the play The Mountaintop, when King talks about, you know, I can't die now because I have so much more work to do. And who's going to take my place? I understand my value in this moment. Johnson was sitting there like, I understand my value in this moment. I believe that I'm the one that can move, you know, the needle. And so we're going to have to sacrifice this woman in order that I don't get tainted and I can continue to move forward. Ultimately shot his own self in the foot though, you know, because everybody realized what was happening. But the sexism was real, you know, within the movement. They talk about like there were no officially prominent women in the like it unofficially, tons of women. A lot of the women was doing a lot of the foundational work, but you wasn't really gonna be a speaker. You know, you could come up and sing a song. You know, you could be the entertainment.
And you bring in Josephine Baker, and Mahalia Jackson. They're the only two women that had a speaking part in the March on Washington. I talked about Dr. King's misogynism, talked about he was very parochial when it came to this idea of the role of women.
The whole piece about Coretta staying home.
Right. And so as progressive, it would have been very interesting to see where Dr. King would have landed when we came down to dealing, had he, you know, lived. For example, gay rights. I remember Walter Fauntleroy, who was one of his guys at SCLC, went on to become the congressperson from the District of Columbia when they were doing, I want to say doing the AIDS quilt, and there were gay people who equated their struggle to black people in the civil rights struggle. and there were a lot of people who
got offended
by it.
Yeah,
And Walter
definitely.
Fauntleroy again was one of those people.
But I mean, but I think that King would have evolved like Barack Obama evolved. Because Bayard was and ended up being his boy, even though he politically, in terms of the movement, thought that, when the threats came that you needed to separate yourself from them, that he needed to do that. But I think ultimately, persecution is persecution.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he would have ultimately
I think,
around.
and that was that, and I think it's just not around issues of queerness. It's also around issues of women. And I'd like to think that Black people, as as self-reliant as Black women are, and they really are because they have to be. But there are people out there who, even today, are not real comfortable with the role of women, Black women in particular. I give you religion. It's a great example.
Yeah.
It's when you see a Black woman leading a Black congregation, first of all, it's very rare, and if she is, she started it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because, and here's the fascinating thing. Is there a sister in? I know we got a brother. The sisters are usually academically better prepared than the men, right? And even with their preparation, even with their gifts, the people sometimes most resistant to Black women leading Black congregations are Black women.
I mean, that is one thing that, unfortunately, sexism is not confined to one gender.
Right.
A lot of people are, because the one thing, and it's women across the board, is just not Black women. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I learned in all of my years politically is that white women also come to the table better prepared.
Oh, yeah.
And that because number one, they don't want to mess up. They don't want to look like a fool. They believe I need to be learned and studied. Whereas men will not know Jack Nathan about a subject and just step up to the plate like, oh no, I'm good. Let's do this.
6'2" and handsome.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Ignorant as the day is long.
Yeah,
and they still be like, Pastor,
I think about, like I said, the dude that ran against the Keisha for state assembly. I'm like, bruh, are you serious right now with these resumes in terms of political depth and understanding? Like, are you kidding me? But like literally women across the board come to the table better prepared. And the idea that you can't see a woman in these leadership roles, and women are one of the biggest culprits,
right?
In terms of supporting women and pushing them. And I mean, like I said, my frustration, even with Lena, you had people, Black and white, men and women, questioning whether or not this girl should be able to be a judge. Is she prepared? But you got a mayor with a couple of years of experience as a common council member, no committee experience whatsoever. You got a county a county executive with, no management for real experience. And don't nobody question these brothers. Nobody questions whether or not these brothers have the experience to run the city, to run the county. But you worried about whether or not Lena can go downtown and do the circuit court, like with a law degree, with more education than both of them brothers put together. And then we question, and you have women saying that. Like, it is the most frustrating thing on the
because
planet.
I think that there is a invisible space that women are in. And you talk about the glass ceiling, right?
Right.
And where you have, so in my mind, maybe other than George Washington, the most qualified person ever to run for president was Hillary Rodham Clinton.
When you gave the totality of her experience, because she had more than Barack Obama, right. She had more than, while Biden has served for a long time, Hillary had held more roles,
and certainly more than Donald Trump.
Yeah, come on now, come on, certainly more. Like there was no comparison. He'd held nothing.
Right.
He held nothing in the public space.
I'm glad that in this Women History Month, is it a month?
Month.
I had speech pathology. I can't talk. But in Women's History Month, that we really should, because talk about this, highlight it, have a very serious conversation around this. It was interesting. I saw someone had did because it's Women's History Month, they did Constant Motley.
Yeah.
We remember you.
Constance Baker Motley.
Right. We
Yeah.
talked about what happened at NAACP Legal Inc.
Right.
And when Thurgood Marshall stepped down. And you know, we were having this conversation. Part of Thurgood Marshall's reasoning, though kind of it's a bias, but he felt like she couldn't do what it was Jack Greenberg, right?
Yes.
Took over for her.
Yes. And the thing is, though, that she was the beast.
I know.
I mean, like her preparation, her depth. This woman was a beast, and most people now will go back and say that what they learned from her.
Right.
They became sharper because of her. You know, I even think they did the whole special down at City Hall honoring Vel Phillips and talking about what it really took for Vel to get in office to, you know, win these positions, the whole, you know, battles of just being a woman and trying to hold office. These buildings not even designed for you to be in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the legacy that we push up against as women and that we fight. And so to your point you made about the frustration in not seeing women always step up for women.
Right.
You know, and women try to box other women in. I've had conversations with some people that are sisters, and they say some of my worst experiences on the job have been at the hands of other women.
Mm-hmm.
And in some Black women's cases, at the hands of other Black women,
Mm-hmm.
you know, who I don't know if I'm a threat. I don't know, you know, I don't know what this was. Now, I've never had that experience because it ain't gonna go well for them. But, you know, you got young, impressionable young sisters coming into the workplace. And I've had some really unfortunate conversations. On the other hand, as I've said, I've had women who have catapulted my career. They have championed for me, pushed for me, threatened people on my behalf, you know, and that's what you would hope it would be.
And I don't know where I know Dino was took issue with me when I said my mother was prophetic. My mother was a prophet. I'm not prophet, not in the mind that, but in terms of her clearly understanding the dynamics when it came around issues of social justice.
Mhm.
My mama was prophetic.
Oh man.
And
Your
so
mama is a beast too.
yeah, I mean, but my mama had to be. I'm gonna tell you, because when I grew up, my mama's natural inclination was to defer to men, right?
Which was the case for most people.
Right. And my mom was still is a champion, particularly for Black men. So when we begin to have these conversations, and I think about names, you know, we talk about, I think during Black History Month, I'll make a suggestion when we have our next Black History Month organizing meeting, that we should have a martyr day. When we talk about our martyrs, and because it's Women's History Month, let's talk about Breonna Taylor. Let's talk about Sandra Bland. These are martyrs for Black folks, unwittingly, but they're martyrs. They become this moment where, and I think we're around the time that Breonna 4 years ago, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, we have to.
And people understand the significance and importance of martyrs, because when I was talking earlier this morning about women who were in the suffragist movement and were picketing outside the White House, this was the president who was making sure these people was getting arrested.
Was that Wilson?
Yeah. And Woodrow Wilson. And they were making sure these women were getting arrested. And I talked about them force feeding them through a tube, but they were feeding them maggot-filled food. And they were feeding them 3 times a day. And somebody was like, well, why were you even feeding them at all? And they were like, because we did not want them to become martyrs.
Exactly.
We didn't want them to die.
The brother called in, I don't know if it was your program last week, and he was talking about bin Laden.
Okay.
Remember? And he was saying I don't know if he believed that bin Laden was buried at sea and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why he was buried at sea was if you would have gave him a land burial, that would have been a martyr's site.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Right. They're gonna go.
I mean, think about like what they do to Emmett Till's where they did the monument, they go shoot it up.
Right.
This is where the Yahoos go hang out to, you know, keep their racist street cred up. Yo, I shot up Till's, you know, marker again today. Like, yeah, so people understand the significance. of martyrs.
Right.
I don't know that we always appreciate it, but people certainly understand.
Okay. I'm sorry, callers. I see you. Actually, Michelle and I are sitting here babbling, so we're gonna get. Well, I'm babbling.
Yeah,
Michelle never babbles.
I can't see the phone.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But before I go, let me just say this on my way out the door. Number one, that's the baddest turtleneck. I don't know if that's cashmere, but bruh, when I say it says, I want to say what I want to say, which is it says money, but that turtleneck is so boss. You look so nice today. I mean, the black pocket. You know,
I look nice every day.
No, you don't. You do not look nice every day. Let's be clear.
No, you don't. No, you better sit back down.
No, you don't. But when you put your little outfits on, you clean up well.
You know, I don't do outfits. I do ensembles.
Ensembles. You Carvey over here cracking up. You clean up well. Boy, that's a nice turtleneck you got on today. I'm talking about it ain't rolling down. It's laying perfect.
I was gonna do like you told me to do.
To turn it inside out. But that's on the ones that you feel like might roll.
I'll tell you off the air.
But yeah, but you're killing that.
Well, thank you, sister. Well, hold on, don't go because hey, can we do this real quick? Kia.
See? Party killer.
I know, man. Just any chance he gets a little power, he takes that power.
I got the authority of God.
Wait. When the lightning comes, let me move over.
Where's hitting you first?
Wait. Which God?
Look, at the thing on Saturday, I said, and God, whether he or she, somebody said, did she say she? Did she say God was a she?
Oh, I get him going.
I was cracking up. I said, but that's what I'm making my point. In America, we get to believe what we want to.
George has a question about voting for you.
Oh, okay.
So can you?
Yep, I can hang out for a second.
Hey, who's your boss?
God. He's able.
I've never had a boss in my life.
Well, you really don't have one now. You never had one.
I answered to the Senate Minority Leader.
Oh, do you? Okay,
I
thought you were going to say to the people.
Yeah, no, I answered to the Senate Minority Leader. Our office is under her purview right
now.
But I've never had a boss though.
She answered to the Shira Lord.
I don't believe in bosses.
Which explains.
I believe in supervisors, managers, and directors.
Which explains the 9 marriages. We'll be right back.
Marriages.
Make it plain, brother. Make it plain.
I just gave this raggedy.
See, it don't take long.
Not at all.
It don't take long.
I said the lightning gonna hit her, didn't he?
This is raggedy.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. March is Women's History Month. A lifetime of service to Milwaukee Public School students has led to an extraordinary honor for Joyce A. Hall, a longtime public school educator. On Friday, December 10, 2021, the George Washington Carver Academy's library was renamed in honor of Joyce, a teacher and volunteer tutor for nearly 60 years. We salute Joyce Hall during Women's History Month.
This moment in women's history was brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank has more than 50 locations in the greater Milwaukee area. Visit usbank.com to find a location near you. U.S. Bank, a member of FDIC.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Looking to leave a lasting impression? Look no further than Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. With over 25 years of experience, we're your one-stop shop for all things printing. Whether it's custom invitations, banners, apparel, or high-quality on-time funeral programs, we've got you covered. Planning a family reunion? We'd love to help. Visit our website at greatimpress.com or give us a call at 414-536-7646 to start your next project today. We're here when you need us.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Make it a real Mad March with a playoff payout at Potawatomi. Every week, you could score your share of $100,000 in cash and free play. Play this March for drawing entries. Win each Thursday. Plus, the prizes refresh every week for even more winners. The playoff payout at Potawatomi, Milwaukee. It's anyone's game. For more details, visit paysbig.com/payout. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Come with me now. Bring some new things into my life. Come with me now. You are the reason of my life. Come with me, make me smile. Roll me in a while. Come with me now. I need to close you are my life.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Pat Boone, that was his name. He was doing the Pat Boone snap. The wop, bob, a loo, bob,
Boone,
boom.
I don't have my white shoes on. All right, welcome back. So, caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris.
Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, sir. Anyway, but not to be dismissive, you all were talking about you made a statement regarding two words, and on Ms. Bryant's show, I think it was, you all were saying the N word with the ER, and it made me think about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad regarding that word. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to the effect of that word that is this, that the white man makes those Niggers, niggers. But God, Allah, makes men. And since we are under the mentality, the hegemony, the purview of the Caucasian male's perspective, that is what he has manufactured, and that is what we cyclically remanufactured out of our own and from our own loins, because we lack the desire to be truly knowledgeable of ourselves. We lack the desire to truly accept our own and be ourselves. There are so many excuses and avenues, pathways that we attempt to take and embark upon and endeavor to gain success. And some of us are very successful, although the success is illusory. It really is a false presentation of success, because the majority of our people are suffering. all over this country and throughout the world. Bombs are being dropped on people in Palestine for them to be annihilated. Black people in America, what are we doing other than seeking the beneficence of a Caucasian ruler? His history bears witness against him. When will we desire to actually embark upon manifesting our own reality? And I'm sure, and I'm totally certain, that the detractors are very, very many, and the acceptors are very, very few and far between, because out of the 85% of the population of the world, there's only 5% that is conscious. 10% rule, 85. And if you apply that math to our population here in America, would it even come to 5%? It might come to a 1.5 or 2.5, because we work to cut off our nose to spite our face.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning. Is Michelle still there?
Yeah, I asked her. She was so gracious to hold over.
And
Because
this is a real simple one. I got my ballot and I'm going to turn it in today. But there are a lot of people running a polls, and I just leave those blank. And it won't affect my ballot, or it won't kick it out.
can you leave if you decide not to vote? I think, yeah. You don't have to check anything, do you?
Wait, what's happening?
There are people running out of polls. He doesn't want to vote for the person. So can he leave it blank?
Yeah, you don't have to.
That's
No,
what I
you
thought.
don't. And that's the thing. Later, when the final tallies come out, and you'll see where it says an undercount or an undervote. That's where people are not voting. So yeah, you don't have to vote in every race on the ballot if you don't want to.
Be mindful, though. There is, even though on the national level, both nominations have pretty much been secure, you still can vote. Now, when you get to that part of the ballot, you either have to check Democrat or Republican, right?
Right. I
Okay.
did.
Yeah. So
Right.
people just
Hey,
be mindful of that.
I want to back up what was said. And one of the things is why I come on so passionately sometimes, and sometimes it sounds like arguments. I don't know if you guys watched the WNACCP awards this weekend.
I
No,
saw a
didn't
little
get
bit
to
of
see
it. I saw a little bit of it.
But when I look at our people and I see the beauty in our people and I see the intelligence of our people, and I don't just mean in the sports world or entertainment, I mean across the genre, medicine, science, all that kind of stuff. And it makes me so proud. And then I turn around and I get sad and I weep because of what we do to each other. And it hurts my heart when I think about what we can rise to. And I know, Keith, you like to use that word monolith, but
Monolith. Yeah, thank you.
as an oppressed people, I was brushing my teeth, so excuse me. As an oppressed people, I think we need to get it together, and that's why I call and I'm so passionate a lot of times. And what he just said about using that N word,
Mm-hmm.
it just hurts my heart because we are more than that. Love y'all, man. I love all what you say, Keith. I love all black around the world.
Oh, man, all people. All African people all over the world. Yes, sir.
I love us, man, and that's why I fight so hard for us to get our stuff together. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you.
And just if I could, just real quick. So if you have not pulled up your ballot yet, you can go to myvote.wi.gov and take a look at what to expect when you get there. But there is literally only one judge's position when you look at from the Court of Appeals to County Circuit Court that is actually being contested, and that is the race in Branch 43.
Bent, right?
Huh?
Jackson Bent.
Rochelle Johnson Bent
Yeah.
and Maricebel Cabrera. Rochelle is a sister.
Is she?
Yeah, it's a sister.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, Rochelle. Now, Congresswoman Moore and a number of people in town are actually back in Maricebel.
Is that right?
Yeah, but Rochelle is a sister. Rochelle is a sister. Rochelle is a sister.
You know what? That's interesting. I was thinking about that this morning, and there were certain people on there, and I wondered, some folks on there who I knew their ethnicity, and I kept wondering, should that matter? And I'm just going back and forth. I didn't come to a real conclusion, but I just wonder how much should that really matter? And I think it depends on what we're looking at.
So we're saying ethnicity or race?
I don't,
Because there's a difference.
No, not in my mind.
Of course there's a difference.
No, when I say race, I try to stay away from race. Now,
I mean, I get you about
the N-word,
but
talk about the N-word. Race is my
N-word. You
N-word.
can be a Black person from Ireland and have an Irish ethnicity, even though you're Black. So ethnicity and race are not the same thing.
It was sociologically. Ethnicity was.
Ethnicity
race
is about the region of the world
that you come from, and that's where we come from, right? Africa.
No.
I'm African. No,
but not all of us are now born in Africa. We can be born in Germany.
Our nationality
is the country that you are a citizen of.
There you go.
But
or origin,
ethnicity, right? No, or not origin. Nationality is your citizenship.
Okay.
And race and ethnicity are two different things. Ethnicity is the region of the world you hail from. But you don't check
ethnicity is a little bit. Well, that's only because we don't have that option
on the demographic.
Because we don't have the option.
But it's not a thing in terms of it's different from race.
I just read Hannah.
We can be Black and be from anywhere in the world, and our ethnicity be wherever we're from.
Is it Hannah?
Just like Giannis is considered
Greek,
because
he's Nigerian,
right? So his race
and
is Black.
And probably more than that, he's a particular tribe in Nigeria.
But his race is Black. His ethnicity is Greek.
We got to get rid of race, man.
I mean, I hear you, but I'm just saying.
And it's interesting because I always get her name, Hannah Nicole.
Yeah, Hannah Nicole Jones.
Okay, she wrote an article in New York Times Magazine this weekend,
right,
about this whole so-called movement to a colorblind society,
right, which is nonsense.
Yeah. But race is nonsense too. Oh, but well, someone said race is a construct, racism is real.
Yeah,
there's a contradiction.
Yeah.
And what was the point I was getting ready to talk about?
I was going to say, and what were you?
What were we going to talk about?
Well, that shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter.
Shouldn't matter when I'm voting.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, like, I am somebody that I literally try to look at.
There was a couple of races where that was
I literally try to look, like, that's going to be the issue for Tierman Spencer and Evan Gordon.
That was one of the races.
And, and I love that on the battle, all it says is T. Spencer. That's all it says for his name. For Tierman Spencer, all it says is T. Spencer. I'm like, what the hell is that about? Like, you don't want people to know it's you? Why wouldn't you put your whole name? Because I don't remember it looking like that in the ballot last time. Just T. Spencer.
So we won't know.
I'm just saying, you playing on low information voters. Like,
we won't know.
You done messed over your own damn name so bad you don't want to put your own name on the ballot. T. Spencer.
I knew it was
when
terrible.
did dude start being known in the public as just T? Oh, that's T, dog.
He might be.
You stop it. That was not on. That was not on.
Remember,
that's not how he ran the last time.
Remember what I said.
Yeah, but a whole lot happened. A whole lot happened.
And now you don't want to ride with your name. No, you done dirtied up your. That's why people tell you.
No, the T came out now.
No,
it showed
it. I'm just saying. Your people tell you, don't mess over that name, fam.
Well,
and you done showed your tail, and now you can't use your own name. You got an initial up here. T. Spencer. What the hell is that?
Maybe they didn't have a room.
Come on,
Maybe they didn't have a room.
The funds was low.
No, the ballot. He had nothing to do with the ballot. It's on the ballot.
It's on the ballot.
Hey, them letters cost.
They don't cost you nothing. They don't cost you nothing.
But I do notice the lawn signs just say Spencer.
Say what?
Spencer.
Because he don't want nobody to know it's him. You done showed your behind so bad you embarrassed and know that your name is a liability.
Remember what I said after the election.
And I'm not saying this as endorsement of anybody. I'm just saying you done showed your behind so bad. You cannot use your own name because it's a liability for Tierman, however it's pronounced, to be on any document.
So in Georgia?
T. Spencer.
Will Fannie use Fannie Willis?
Oh, Fannie gonna use hers. Her name ain't Fanny, it's Fonnie. And
Fannie Mae.
Fonnie,
Spell fatty.
Fanny, potato, potato.
Fonnie gonna use hers. Fonnie a G. She gonna use
One of her married names.
Hey, Fonnie is a G. She ain't gonna run from her name. It is what it is, bro. That's funny. But Terry Spencer, oh, he high. T. Spencer. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, Negro, please. You need to quit. That's all I'm saying.
Would that be like M. Barnes?
Stand on your stuff.
M. Barnes.
Yes. Just M. Barnes on it. Like, who the hell is M. Barnes? Stand on it. I mean, that's the thing I love about real people. Stand on it. I did it. I said it. I meant it. That's me.
Your fault.
Yup. You know, T. Spencer. That's what dog put on the ballot. T. Spencer. Who is T? Come on, Keith. You laughing. Who is T? Is that Teresa Spencer? Is it Tequila Spencer? Who is T?
Did you just
Spencer?
say Tequila?
Well,
Be
do
careful.
you know?
No, be careful.
Tequila.
Be careful.
Do you know
Sometimes
who
these
T.
will be people's
Spencer
real
is?
T.
names.
Spencer is the dude.
Who is T.
T.
Spencer?
Spencer. T. Spencer.
Be careful today.
That's you. That's you.
You get a call.
T. Spencer
my
is the
name.
dude I saw at the after party after the election.
Yeah.
And I told you.
Who
And about
is
it.
T. Spencer?
T.
That alone, puts him in a precarious situation. Because I don't know who T. Spencer is.
What do you call it? The
And
watch party?
I can't go online and pull up information on T. Spencer. Who is that? I'm just saying. So anyway, does ethnicity
Hey,
and should it matter or count? There are
Somebody
days.
said, what's your nationality?
My nationality is American because that's where I hold citizenship. That's not a hard question.
You got a
They
passport.
wasn't playing. I mean,
I'm not playing either.
I mean, no,
You got
nationality.
They didn't know that. They were just wondering where you come from.
Nationality is, just so we are clear, nationality is the country that you are a citizen of. Not, I dream of Africa because I'm not a citizen anywhere on the continent.
Definitely
Some
not
might
going there to
question
move.
whether we're citizens here.
I mean,
fully.
I do.
Some of us
But for
are.
legal purposes.
Right. On
Yeah,
paper.
people living here.
Now, practically, it might be
And when it's
something else.
time to get back in the country, I'm an American all day long. Unrest in Haiti, oh boo, I'm an American. Deuces, y'all got too much going on over here. I gotta go home.
Where you from? America.
America. We take the hostages. Hey, I'm an American. But
It's
it
interesting
does
because
matter sometimes.
great. I wish I could have did it in and maybe I could bring her back in Women's History Month, but to talk to Fern Calker.
Oh yeah,
And
I heard
Fern
you talking.
Calker.
Oh, when she went in on Wakandaville, though, I ain't agree. I was offended. I was like, let me have.
She ain't from Mississippi.
Yeah.
She said, you ain't from Mississippi.
Yeah, when she went in on it ain't real.
Oh, I loved her.
Like,
I loved her. I really fell in love with
Let
her.
me have my moment. Let me have, because the real is that, it inspired people. It made people want to go do the real work to find out more. Haiti ain't making nobody want to go find out more. Like, you like running. So however people get to Black pride, whether they got to come through it through a comic book series or they come through it through African-American history and classes and going through rites and passage classes, my whole point is that they get there. And what happened was with Wakanda or the Black Panther is that it evoked a sense of pride that made people want to understand more. Now, everybody didn't go past Wakanda. Some folks just said, okay, that's it. I wore my outfit. But I was really hurt when Fern said, it ain't real, Michelle. It felt like she was talking to me.
When
it's not real.
My buddy, the late Ron Banks, and his family went and they posted on Facebook and they had their African
outfits
guard.
on, yeah.
And I posted back like, dude, me and my wife, we wore our slave clothes. But I agree with him. I agreed with her. Thank you. Oh, shout out to brother Nate Nuckett, the good folks there at New Pitch Mortuary.
Shout out to folks on the phone. That's my role. That's my job.
No, that's not your job.
It is my job.
That's not your job.
Well, we do
Your
this
job
when we
is
go on
to
break.
be
Let's see what that
an
job description looks like.
Oh,
Call
that
her up
part
to the
too.
program.
Agitator, agitator.
Good morning,
Good morning.
and thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
One thing I want to say is you got a couple of calls. What if a person voted for the wrong person? Can they go down to the election commission and get a new ballot?
Mm-mm. Can you? Once you
No,
voted for the wrong person?
I mean, no.
If it's not filled out properly, you have an opportunity to, right?
Yeah, the only time you would actually be able to go back and request that ballot back is like in the case when you were voting for people, like in the case of that U.S. Senate race, and then so like Sarah Godlewski drops out.
Right. Oh, you're talking about the primary.
Yeah, the primary. People drop out, and you had already voted in that primary. I mean, you had already voted early, and then before we get to the general, people drop out. That's the only time you get to pull that ballot back.
Right.
Is if your
Okay,
candidate
so you
ends up
can't go
dropping
down
out.
and change it.
Right.
And see, this is another thing that the referendum question. I went to a number of different events over the weekend, and people were all over the map saying vote no on everything. Some were saying vote yes for the school board and no on the other two things. If someone is really up on what's going on with those referendums, please give us a little insight on it. Then my next thing is this.
Let's stop there. Because Michelle can. The referendum about using private funds for political.
So that goes back to the Mark Zuckerberg situation when Mark Zuckerberg put about $330 million out nationally to local municipalities to help them with civic engagement and helping voter turnout. The city of Milwaukee, along with a number of other municipalities here in the state of Wisconsin, availed themselves of about roughly $10 million from a general pot. And they use that money to help educate voters, turn out to vote. And so what Republicans didn't like was that private money had come in this way to be able to, in the form of grants, to be able to help cities turn out the vote. Because in Milwaukee, those dollars meant that you had a greater shot of turning out more voters who most likely wouldn't have voted Republican. And so Republicans wanted to stop that. They don't want private money to be able to come in by way of a grant to be able to spur civic engagement and voter turnout. So I would tell anybody on the two referendums that are the statewide referendums, it's a no, because it is meant to, they can put black money or dark money, I shouldn't say black money, dark money in race. I know, that's what I know.
That would better.
Freudian slip. But they could put dark money and unlimited amounts of money in all kinds of nonsense for candidates, and nobody can do anything about it. But when it comes to somebody trying to say, I'm putting up money to help turn out voters and civic engagement to get that increase, now you want to limit it. So the statewide referendums, both of them, quite frankly, should be a no. That MPS referendum, that's going to be personal choice because, the caller has been very vocal over the last couple of weeks about making sure that people understood, where she stood on the referendum, which is about making sure that these children have access resources, give them an opportunity, don't compare us to suburban districts. There will be other folks that will tell you, we just gave MPS money 3 years ago. The money that they're getting right now is not enough. We already know that they're going to be back in another 3 years to ask for additional money. And so this is a very personal choice for people. There is no right or wrong. As far as I'm concerned on the MPS referendum, you got to vote either your conscience or what's best for you financially, because while people will tell you it's just a small hit, I'm also getting hit on 2% taxes. I'm getting city tax, 1% on the county, just under one.
Wheel tax.
Whatever we do with the Brewers district.
We got the wheel tax.
We got the wheel
Two
tax.
wheel taxes if you live in the city of
county
Milwaukee.
And city.
Yep.
Right. So, so people will tell you, and then folks will say, well, you got to be in a certain household bracket for it to impact you. All of those things are choices that people have to make. I would not pretend to tell anybody what to do on the MPS referendum. Vote your heart, vote your conscience, vote the way you want to. But on the statewide, those both need to be enough.
Well, I know what kind of tipped me one way or the other was when MMAC interjected themselves into it.
Into the MPS referendum.
In the referendum, yeah. That helped me make a decision.
And MMAC is against the MPS
That's
referendum.
correct.
And that's run by Dale Kawanga, former state representative who's a Republican. But yeah, MMAC has been trying to play heavily in the MPS referendum. But this was the thing, and I haven't done the research yet on what is it that they're doing outside of, they're trying to protect school choice. Like, why are you weighing in on this? Because I just didn't know why Dale and MMAC was getting involved in this fight.
And again, when I was at the forum Saturday night, Americans
For Prosperity.
for Prosperity was there, and they did ask Jessica, what's her last name?
The young lady who's running for the 7th Aldermanic District.
Right. They asked her a
Kaliso,
question about
Police District.
the tax burden in Milwaukee.
Right.
And it is, but I could tell you, anybody who lives in a large urban area, New York, Chicago, the taxes are usually higher for people compared to people who live in other areas. As a matter of fact, that's why a lot of people end up wanting to leave the city, and not only because of change in demographics and other things, but usually with that
The
tax.
cost of living is so high.
Right. And so we do pay more to live here. They estimated to operate a car in the city of Milwaukee is $2,000 more from everything.
I mean, because with emissions testing and
which is free.
I mean, but you know, that light going on here trying to register versus that light going on somewhere else trying to register, you got to go get that fixed.
Oh, just to register your car.
Yeah, but you got to you can't. I can live in other parts of the state and my engine light come on and still be able to register my car. I can't do that here.
All right.
You know.
Give me the bill.
Okay, my next question is this. Okay, when you say you're a doctor or somebody, should they put down in educational credentials what university that they received that, or is it honorary?
Wait, say that again.
Okay, the person that's running against Cavalier, he's Dr. King.
Oh, Dr. David King.
Yeah, is that an earned degree or is it honorary?
I don't know, because some of these people with honorary degrees is saying doctor like they earned a degree. So I have no idea if David King has a real PhD or not.
People make me aware of that you can go purchase these things too, but it doesn't make any difference to me. But my thing is this: when you get out there and vote for somebody, we don't have time for you to come in and practice because you've been picking up paper and you've been doing this in the neighborhood. And then I had an opportunity to talk to some people that said they work for these big corporations, but yet they didn't list it on their advertising of what they do. They didn't put enough meat in the mix on things. And I just want to personally say that our county exec, even though he came in with not that much experience as a young man, and I remember him coming through Amani United along with so many of these young guys that have ventured out into the public arena and have done very well. And I think he's doing an excellent job. And yes, I'm standing on the air. He got my vote.
I think the point Michelle was making, not so much she was giving examples of how if a woman was in the same situation, she would probably bring more credentials to the table, more experience to the table, but people would be more apt to vote for the male. It wasn't.
And just on Dr. David King, I went and looked at his profile pic. It said that he earned his PhD in theological seminary from Grace Theological Seminary. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I read.
No. I'm doing okay.
I'm just telling you what I read.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so there you go. So he should have listed that. And sometimes we could be so passionate about what it is because we're so sick of how things are being run, but yet we don't have all that we need. So if you want to run for office, do 2 years of really drilling somebody's thousands and find out what that office is all about. And I know Spencer did goof up and went in there. They didn't want him there and all this kind of stuff. But we give these white guys passes and we keep putting their butts in there. And I'm sorry, you're going to vote for him too. You give him one more opportunity. You screw up this time, buddy. You out.
Evan Goike's assembly district
fair?
is what is the percentage? Is it a minority?
So Evan Goike is sitting in a seat that, you know, when you looked at the makeup, it was intended to be black representation, and somebody black had the seat before Evan got in it. Who I have to go back and pull it up real quick. But I'm interviewing him on Thursday on my show.
Evan Goike.
Evan Goike. Yeah. But that is one of the seats that was considered to be a seat that was intended to increase black representation.
Okay.
Oh, I saw Ray Nitty.
So like I said, this is not checkers, it's chess.
Right.
And we have to do our due diligence. When you go in one silo of people, they're saying one thing, and you have to, at the end of the day, make that conscious decision. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I love you. And Michelle, remember what I said. you have an army of intergenerational women of color that want to follow you. And I think we could reach back and say something happened to either any one of you, Keith, Keon, someone wants to be in the news, on the radio. You already have a protege.
Yes.
Keith is already getting people to be the engineers on the radio.
Yes,
Tap
ma'am.
into all this that you're doing and continue to do it because people admire you and you are important to us. Keep doing what you're doing. Love you.
And just for quick clarification, so Tamara Grigsby held that seat before Evan Goike.
Okay.
Evan Goike ran against Jared Fields, and at that time she had the diagnosis.
Right.
But yeah, so that was Tamara Grigsby's old seat.
I remember the day of her funeral. It rained. It rained. God, that was. But you know what? She turned me on to a Nas song. If I Ruled the World.
Oh yeah.
I walked out of there. I'm going. Oh my God. Good sister. She really was a good sister. You're listening to Community Voice. Michelle, thank you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate y'all.
Caller, I see you. Hey, y'all, the phone line's open. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Black history is something to appreciate, celebrate, and participate. Play Ode is a mobile app that streams America's best Black-owned radio stations and podcasts from across the country. ODE stands for Our Digital Entertainment. Play Ode features music and entertainment for us and by us. Listen to WNOV The Voice Milwaukee on the Play Ode app. Elevate your radio listening and participate in supporting Black radio. Download PLAYODE or log on to odeaudio.com for info and insight.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with patent irritation defense bar and skin care regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
The Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship presents its third annual Big Head Soiree, Thursday, May 16th at the Marcus Performing Arts Center in the Bradley Pavilion. I'm Andrea Williams, and I'll be your host for this spectacular event. It's designed to salute the co-founder, Miss Radonna Rogers, as she loved to wear big hats, and this is one way we honor her. We will also celebrate and recognize the accomplishments of Milwaukee's leaders in entrepreneurial ventures.
CTE was founded with the mission in mind to help young people understand business, financial literacy, and themselves, and how they can find their way into the marketplace and be productive citizens. We have found a great way to educate, stimulate, and advance what we're doing within this community.
So ladies, this is the time to wear your big hat, and guys, your stylish fedora. You will be treated to a delectable dinner and the sounds of Soul Sirius starting at 5:30. The program will begin at 7 with more entertainment and the awards program. Tickets are just $75. Go to Eventbrite using BHS 24 or call 414-788-8104. That's 414-788-8104. This event will kick off the spring season, so don't miss it.
This is Martina Golan-Graves, President and CEO with Mental Health America of Wisconsin. I want to take a moment to remind you that your mental health matters. This time of year can be stressful, but we have programs and services committed to supporting our community. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping adults and kids live mentally healthier lives. We offer online screenings, outpatient therapy, and a peer-run warm line for support day and night. Call us today, 414-276-3122, or visit mhawisconsin.org to learn more about these services and more.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Kieth Parris.
What you pointing at me? Why are you pointing
I
at
didn't
me?
point at you. I put my finger up in the air. Was it crooked or are you convicted?
No, you need to use the bathroom.
I do need to urinate.
I explained.
I
explained that little thing. Welcome back. Keon he had his finger up, and we talked about, and someone shared this with me many years ago. I don't know if you remember in church, we put that one finger up when we be walking out. That is tied to enslavement. And
everything no.
I know.
Stop.
I know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I just put my
Yes,
finger
you
up
do.
because I was putting my
You
finger up.
never did that in church when you was little?
No. I was trying not to be in church. I wasn't paying no attention to nobody. I thought I wouldn't, but I got all the lessons. Look, I gotta do a cleanup.
What's that?
So me and my people, we went to see the American Society
of Magical
Negroes.
What do you think?
I think I should have watched it on streaming.
Oh, there you go.
It was I walked out because I couldn't stay up. But it was one of them. It's one of those good, late night snow in type of.
Okay.
It's a love story about light skinned dudes that like white women. But then they got the black jewels in there that's just real funny, and some of them it's just weird. So yeah,
You've seen American Fiction.
Oh, that's why I saw the trailer for that. Yeah, so I got hogwashed and bamboozled.
You've seen the Book of Clarence too.
Yeah, Book of Clarence was nice though.
Okay.
It's gonna be one of them. When you get to the right folks, the conspiracy theorists, it's gonna be a hit.
And Shirley comes out Friday.
Shirley.
Yeah, on Shirley Chisholm. That's John Ridley.
Okay.
He did the premiere last Thursday here at the Oriental.
Right.
And so that will be streaming on Netflix on Friday.
See, that's what they should have did with see, if they would have streamed it, it wouldn't have spent all that money. I'm glad I ate before I got there. I ain't get nothing.
That was the interesting thing about COVID when we were doing the lockdown. And so a lot of movies went directly to streaming. They never even went to the theater.
It'll make me stop going to the theater. I just started.
Wow, this 4 years ago this month. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Brother Chief.
Brother Meach.
Hey, I want to thank you again, man, for participating.
I should have stayed. I didn't know my colleague was coming. I didn't.
You didn't know about the main event.
I thought you set that up.
No,
as soon as she got there, you hit it. I said that Negro done set me up. But that's okay.
I would have stayed for that.
Hey, listen here. So, listen, it was explosive. It was a good time. What we had with the doorman count, we had in 2 weeks' time, we put together a little town hall meeting just to see where we was at. And Mega Black came out of Virginia, where they located in a bunch of different states plus us. We have a chapter here. But now listen, Michelle has never invited me to her show, really. She cowardly gets to move away from that. But she found it necessary to come and blow up I think a good event. We had 42 people there.
She blew it up.
She came in and blew it up. Okay, and that's okay because we finna do another town hall meet.
Just so you know, I'm in the studio. Just so you know,
that's okay.
When you tell this tale, just so you know, I'm standing here to fact check.
You trash.
I'm here to fact check. Yo. What's Donald Trump word? Alternate. What he call it?
Alternate facts.
Alternate facts. I'm here to challenge your alternate facts,
can I say this to you? This is not alternate facts.
Oh, it's
this
alternate facts.
I knew you. Okay, but hold on. You gonna steal the flow? Hey, Keith, can you MC this?
Here we go. Don't be trying to get nobody to tap in to help you, bruh.
I was running out to the car.
Hey, let me say this to you.
Now you want to tap in.
I acknowledge you. Hold on, one. I acknowledge you.
Hey, Meach, brother. Meach, hold on. Let me give you a compliment, man. I was very impressed with your grasp of knowledge when it came to certain things. and I know you did the research on it, and so let me do. I was impressed when I sat there and I listened to that. So now the other stuff that was going on, that's a little bit different, but that you were on point, and so I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, brother, for your platitudes. Now, going back, I can't have a conversation if my girl ain't gonna have a dialogue and she just gonna be ranting and raging.
Okay, well, make your point.
Okay. The point is this right here. We set up. We had a town hall meeting. We had some out of town guests. Okay, and it's okay because we're gonna throw another town hall meeting where we're gonna let the town decide who's the best player for this city. Will it be Joe Biden with his failed policies or Donald Trump with his legal issues? And we're targeting 18 to 34 and beyond to come out and make this decision for this city. And I would invite Michelle to come sit on the panel because we're trying to figure out who's going to be the best player for this town.
Hype your event off my name. No, sir. I don't think so. You heard what I said. Don't be trying to hype your shindig off my name.
Hey, let me say something to you.
That is.
Your name
Player.
can't do nothing but me. Your name is, hold on. Your name is, hey, look here. Your name, hey, look here. Hey, look here. The only reason you got a name because you work in the old senator's office.
You had some nonsense in there. That's the problem.
That wasn't no nonsense.
Oh, it was nonsense. And it was
there you go.
To blow it up because they weren't
you
talking
are just
about
talking
nothing.
And you're not, what you're doing
No,
is you're just talking.
bitch,
I'm
even
dead
try.
serious.
Don't get on the radio today because you was apologizing Saturday night. So don't get on
No.
trying to act like
this is what hold on.
your
Can I
boy
say this to
didn't
you?
come wrong because he
This
came
girl right
wrong.
here, something else, man.
I didn't
You
blow up
you
your
know what
meat.
you is.
Greg
You the
Kennedy
kind of person
blew
that
up your
players
meat.
like me. We really
I
because
didn't
you
blow up
won't
your
stop.
meeting.
You won't
Greg
stop.
Kennedy
You like to
blowed up
argue.
your meeting. Tell the truth, bruh.
Right.
Just
Okay.
tell the truth. Greg Kennedy blew up your meeting when he started screaming
No,
like
you
a
blew
girl,
the meeting up
like he
because
had
we was
lost his
cool.
mind.
Hold on, I'm the
That's
one
how your
acknowledging you
meeting
to
got
speak.
blew up.
She
That's how your
this what
meeting
you
got
call a
blown up.
loudmouth woman. Hey, look here, let's do it
Your
like
boy
this here.
started
You talking
screaming like
about
a
doing?
girl.
Hold on, can I say this to you? You talking about having a meeting? You talking about building your name? My meeting up on your name.
I don't need to build my name.
Your name will
I
not.
don't need to build my name. I don't need
You
to build
got
my
so
name.
much to say though.
All
Hold
I'm
on, take
saying
it out.
is you're
Take it
not
out.
gonna
Forget
use
grade
me
candidate. Let's
to
do this right
elevate
here.
your platform.
Hold on. Let's do this right here. Forget grade candidate. Let's do this right here. We're gonna set this town hall meeting. You ain't got to show up because there was some candidates that didn't show up because it was more about the local candidates than anything. See, you wasn't there when I got a chance to address the
that
local.
I didn't blow up your meeting. That your boy blew up your
you
meeting
blowed
when
the
he
meeting
started
up.
screaming.
It's okay. It's okay. Count it all joy.
But I'm just saying, can we
You
tell
did
the truth?
something for a change.
Could we tell the truth though? Could we just tell the
You
truth?
did something for a change.
Could we just
You
tell the
finally
truth?
did something in the community. You
Could we
came
tell
out
the
and made
truth?
some noise.
Could we tell the truth? Who blew up
Okay,
the
I'm
meeting?
telling the truth.
A
You blowed the
Republican
meeting up.
blew up the
But
meeting.
hold on, listen. I invite you, baby. Listen. I want to invite you to get all of that out so you don't have to argue next time. We want to know who the best player is for this town, okay? At the next, and the food was great, the layout was great, the venue was great.
Yeah.
I'm the one that acknowledged you when I seen you sitting back there.
And I said that. I said that this
So why you study talking and why you won't become civilized?
Civilized.
You're uncivilized at this moment. You're irrational.
Again,
you're irrational. You're crazy.
You know what? Yeah,
this is what it is. It's gonna be. It's gonna be Winky Blue. The Winky Blue, the leprechaun versus. Hold on, Winky Blue, the leprechaun. Hold on. Can I see that? Listen, she's so scared. She's so scared that I'm gonna say something slick. That she talking. Well, be quiet then. Be quiet.
Scared of what?
Hey, look here. Can I say this to you?
Scared of what?
Let it be Winky Blue, the leprechaun, versus Michelle, the silverback gorilla. You understand me? Her grandfather made a beast of her.
I don't know what that was.
I invite you.
What that
and guess what?
And
the
I'm
next.
just gonna let you roll with it because that's what
you
people
scared.
do
You scared to come to the leprechaun.
No substance, no facts, no information.
Hey, was I not a great gesture? Hey, was I not a great gesture?
Let me be clear, bro. This ain't a game. This foolishness, like that damn jester's hat you had on that was lighted up like you was at the circus or a carnival, this ain't no game. You playing with people's lives right now. This ain't entertainment. It ain't a sideshow. It ain't no wrestling match, WWF. People gonna live and die, thrive and succeed based on what we do. So that's why you get mad and got to infiltrate your comments with all this ignorant nonsense, because when it's time to deal with real facts and information, I'm going to blow you out the water every time, because what I got on my side is real information, not antics, not let me raise my profile and make some money and entertain people. You playing with people's lives. I'm not going to let you do it. Y'all have a nice show.
Caller, welcome to the program.
And she drops the mic.
She dropped the mic
and walks off. You should have let me got your theme music together first, Negro.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Yes, sir, Mr. Parris. I was remiss in part of my statement with regard to Women's History Month. The Holy Quran says that heaven lies at the foot of woman, and that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that no nation can rise higher than its woman, because nations are judged by the presentation of the woman. The woman's the first teacher, nurse, doctor, all of those things. And this is to say to our sister who just exited, when my statement I made earlier with regard to what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about the Caucasian, the white man makes niggers and Allah makes man. And she found herself amidst a bunch of people who were not made by Allah. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Let me do this because I do it every Women's History Month. I do it during Black History Month. I always acknowledge Mother Claire Muhammad. I always acknowledge her. This is, one of the great women of our people. And so I always acknowledge her, the work that she did there for the Nation of Islam. And so she is definitely one of my sheroes. Caller, welcome to the program. As a matter of fact, she's the person who's probably most responsible for homeschooling in this country, Sister Claire Muhammad. Good morning.
Good morning, NOV and listeners. I'm just not returning back to this station because one thing that I have a problem with is the professionalism. Now, we can all act like we are studio disc jockeys and everything, and then supposed to be advocates at the same time. But you cannot mix hood verbalistics to get attention to the public with arguing. I think that bro talk has too much of the street mud. If you're trying to relate, I think Michelle needs to stop addressing saying bro and brah. This is Milwaukee, not New York. And all professionals must be responsible of what they say and how they carry out. I just don't see this station going too farther than where it's at when you have that type of host that's advocating nonsense.
So did you see CNN?
Well, it's a lot of other states, but I'm just saying.
No. I just said, did you see CNN?
I haven't called it. I was working this weekend.
The interview with the president. I was just wondering.
Oh, wait. That's a whole different story. Yeah, I know where you're going at.
Bro. It is what it is.
I know where you're going at. But to tell you this is the reason why we can't get together. We got too many beliefs and too many religion, and then we got too much stubbornness to believe that everybody don't know the answer, okay? And you got too many people on this show acting like they already know. So many people ain't not even originated from Milwaukee. That's first I'm going to drop right there, okay? I'm going to drop that ball. They don't know enough history to speak out on things that have been going on, only the things that's a part that they see now in this century, okay? To get to the real core, y'all need to stop arguing with each other. That's the reason why our people don't get along, because we think we're smarter than the next. We're not. We all came here through the same omissions of oppression and suppression, and neither one of us is above any other. Until we come together and stop acting like these preachers having all these churches all around this doggone state and daycare centers, you're flacking. You're just wasting time and not being heard all the way up north, and just arguing with each other for nothing, and we are not even uniting. So let's stop all that arguing, all that acting like one know more than the other, and stop being so narcissist towards another person's opinion. Just try to find a way how to say okay, and we are together, and there's no way we could be separate. That's the only thing I have to say. You have to change the whole professionist and the verbalistics of words of values. Okay, words of value stands a whole anchor a lot, even to a judge. Okay, there's certain words that you can say, a police could say, or a citizen could say that the judge will recognize and say, okay, nothing. There's no more procedures. I know where this is going at, and I'm going to call a case. Y'all need to call this as it is. No one is better than the next. We're all in the same pot trying to make it up out of crab hole. Quit pulling each other backwards, okay? You're going to assemble right. Don't assemble with all just sliding off each other and then sticking knives in each other. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. Let me, it was actually a good opportunity. And I had the good fortune to be sitting next to Reverend Leon Champion's, I think, nephew, and to have a conversation. I had really admired Pastor Champion back in the day. He certainly was a champion in terms of things, and especially when it came to housing in the city. And so that was a great opportunity to sit there. And
Talk about the elder champion.
Hmm?
The elder champion.
Yeah, at the church over on
Sean Moore's uncle, grandfather.
Right, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. But he had the church over at they was on Delete. Right, Pastor Champion. Caller, welcome to the program.
First thing I want to say, Michelle is a grown woman, so she can say whatever the hell she wants. Number two, while you bringing up these preachers and these pastors who talking about what God said to them, it says in that so-called Bible that men and women are created equal, so they can equally pay 5.6% tax increase. Since they saying yippee-ki-yay, God told me vote for you, so y'all can pay that 5.6 tax increase too. And the other reason this party is trying to get these black men from 19 to 30 because they want them to be a bunch of monkeys dancing for bananas. Now, I don't have a problem with the way people speak, but let's not sit here and start picking and choosing, because when those Republicans speak, some of y'all don't have nothing to say. And if you want to get to that Bible, there's a whole lot of 467 contradictions that got y'all afraid to open your mouth. So before we get to picking and choosing, let's not really go there, because I'm going to tell you right now, I say whatever I want to the devil and God. Okay? I don't hold no lack of equality. Everybody can get it. So what we should be trying to do is see who we can bring down to the footstool. And for those who want to be black Republicans, hey, throw them a banana. You know, everywhere we go, we got raccoons. Look at our population and look at our neighborhoods. There's garbage everywhere. So let's go on and have ourselves a good day. But yes, y'all preachers, y'all go on and pay that 5.6%, boo. Did God talk to you about that? Because whether he's man or a woman, that nigga ain't no good neither.
All right. 414-444-5250.
But I'd just be wondering, the so-called book, he quoted enough. I wondered if he actually read it to quote it, or if he just go by what he heard was in it. And I'll just be wondering. Because then, if you read it, then that means you had to be engaged. So then what's the problem is, and why you're not engaged no more, and why you come so hard against my God? God, period. It's our God. So I just have to do that in wonder and speculation and defense. And I know I ain't got to defend God, but I'm a loyal nickel to my God.
Well, I think maybe
I love my God.
I think it's more
my God changes, he protects, he guides, he comforts.
I think probably more we equate God with religion. I think there's a great danger in equating God with religion. But religion is derived from a belief in God. But the problem is that some people don't know the difference between God and religion. They then say, well, this religion must be God. No, it isn't. Religion is something that human beings created to better understand, to have some interaction with God. But religion is not God. Now, it really helps if the religion is of God. That helps a great deal. But I think that we do that, and then it becomes our human experience. I remember asking a Catholic priest, why do you do confession, and why is confession done with a priest? And he said something to me that I thought was really profound. He said, you sin against people. And so now you have a human being there that you're asking for forgiveness. And then, so it may, because that's who you probably committed to sin more often than not, is against another human being. You're listening to Community Voice, Crazy Monday. We're going to take a quick break. Caller, I see you. I'm going to grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
The Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship presents its third annual Big Head Soiree, Thursday, May 16th at the Marcus Performing Arts Center in the Bradley Pavilion. I'm Andrea Williams, and I'll be your host for this spectacular event. It's designed to salute the co-founder, Miss Radonna Rogers, as she loved to wear big hats, and this is one way we honor her. We will also celebrate and recognize the accomplishments of Milwaukee's leaders in entrepreneurial ventures.
TTE was founded with the mission in mind to help young people understand business, financial literacy, and themselves, and how they can find their way into the marketplace and be productive citizens. We have found a great way to educate, stimulate, and advance what we're doing within this community.
So ladies, this is the time to wear your big hat, and guys, your stylish fedora. You will be treated to a delectable dinner and the sounds of Soul Sirius starting at 5:30. The program will begin at 7 with more entertainment and the awards program. Tickets are just $75. Go to Eventbrite using VHS 24 or call 414-788-8104. That's 414-788-8104. This event will kick off the spring season, so don't miss it.
Are you and your loved one looking for home health care? Well, look no further. Eternal Love LLC is your trusted partner for personal care services. Their team understands the importance of providing quality and compassionate non-medical assistance. They provide options with no out-of-pocket costs to you, and they even come to your home at your convenience. To get signed up, you can visit their website at eternallovellc.com or give them a call at 262-933-4020. That's 262-933-4020. Eternal Love LLC, providing compassionate care right at home.
The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program end of the season is approaching. Don't miss out on benefits and help with your WE energy bill. Just go to keepwarmmke.org. It's made it easy for you to schedule an appointment. You may also call 414-270-4653. Don't delay. Call us today. Again, that's 414-270-4653. Or visit us online at keepwarmmke.org. This is administered by the State of Wisconsin Home Energy Plus Program.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Voice. Caller, thank you for your patience. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, hi, Keith.
Greg, what's happening, man?
Greg Kennedy, how are you this morning, sir?
No, long time no see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good seeing you, man. Like I say, you look so young, you look well, you look fit. You know, there's a look to being right, to living right. There's a look to doing right.
Well, I hope I get that look one day. What's on your mind?
Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot going on. I heard my name sullied and and I talked about it, and perhaps in some misunderstood ways. We won't say this was intentional, that I was kind of disfavored. We'll just say that after you left, things did
go down in the mill.
It goes down in the mill. Right.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, they a lot going on. The conversations was pretty mellow. I didn't know. I had no clue.
I tried to catch you. I was like, Keith, and you did a smooth move. You went to the bathroom and then you smooth with it, Keith.
Oh, I told you. I told the folks over there I was leaving. I was
No. Yeah, and you talked to Chapman again. I was happy to introduce you to.
I appreciate
Michael
that.
Chapman.
Thank you for that too, man. I really appreciate that.
I was happy to do that. He's a great friend of mine, and I speak at his Bible study on a weekly basis. And so, as you know, we would just meet. He's open to conservative thought, and we thought we would just have a cadre of people there and a guest from out of town, an invited guest, and who from in town, a guest speaker. And as you know, any guest speaker you have up, nobody really wants to see him attacked.
Mm-hmm. But Greg, in fairness, this is a public forum. It's a political forum.
Correct.
And so, it would be like if I had someone there, and understand it's open to the public. And so when you have an open forum, this can happen. It can happen on the Republican side. It can happen on the Democratic side. So.
Okay. I guess. And you're right. And so what this was more of, and I like to say, cause I ran for office, but this is not, but it's time. Invariably the political stage is going to change. The color of it, the shape of it, the way it looks, the hue of the people who support conservative is going to change. Obviously, it hasn't had to. It's been one side. It's the white, rich, an image of capitalism, and nothing exists but just running this country and not dealing with everything else. But obviously, conservative is largely from the word careful and cautious. And there's no other people in America who are more careful and cautious than us.
Well, let me ask you a question then, Greg. And, when we talk about that, and even in the Republican Party now, there is a divide. You have the MAGA folks, those folks who are supportive of Donald Trump. You have people who are the Lynn Cheneys of the world, who would be that past conservative Republican. There seems to be a schism there right now in the party, in terms of then who is going to be the dominant voice or the dominant message coming from the party. Now, right now, it appears to be Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump he is a lightning rod. Is that a fair kind of description? I mean, he catches it both from the people who ardently support him and the people who are adamantly against him. So I think that's kind of where we are when we walk into situations like that, in terms of what does that look like. So what attracted you to the Republican Party?
Again, it's conservative thought more than we can say the Republican Party. It's conservative value. It's largely my careful, my cautious value to preserve family rights. Now, what attracted me to run is probably a different show, but again,
Well, no,
it's
but
because-
you. It sounds like I don't know if you're if you're an active member of the party, but you know that is we do have Black Republicans, and so I think that sometimes it depends. I don't know where people are when it comes to their level of support when it comes to the head of your ticket, but I'm just saying, are there some values there? You talk about family values and preserving family values. What would be other things that would be attractive to a Black person wanting to be a Republican today?
Well, obviously, if let's take police, let's take any area that we need out to, if we're going to be taken serious. We vote primarily for our social cause. Primarily. And outside of that, I think we're not going to be taken serious if we don't look at our political, our economic, our social, the other platforms that make us important, that make us that we're proudly involved in. Outside is the social. In other words, Lyndon B. Johnson said, you give them, you take the fathers out of the house, you give the mothers welfare, you have them voting 200 years for them as a Democrat. And so socially, I get that. Socially, I want to see programs exist for people who need them. So see the face of the conservative party, Keith, I think is being shifted, and it's looking more like Winky Blue and Greg Kennedy. You're starting to see more rougher edges on the conservatives in Milwaukee. We're not super sophisticated, debonair, polished. We're regular people. We're citizens. We're guys from primarily from a lower in class level, and you primarily don't see conservatives like that. And you wonder what are they sold out on there? What and I hear this from the host that they pushed me into this. And I remember again being on welfare in 1980 when Reagan was in office, when my daddy was saying we're going to vote Republican. So these values that have been relentless in my family. It's for a sense of empowerment. Even if we're not there, we still got to pull ourselves up and do better than what we're doing, even though we're relying, even though we're settling, even though we are not dealing, we still have to have the dialogue on recategorizing our thoughts and alternatives from just that we're going to sit here and be in this situation. We're in this situation now, but there's a rising tide of people who are saying, man, I think just like them. They're no different than me. I serve this country. I pay my taxes. I pick up trash around my neighborhood. I vote. I attend church on Sundays. And if you're Greg Kennedy, you even chase purse snatchers. We're not inauthentic people who are out of touch.
So let's talk about that.
Keith,
so now,
you know that you and I work together,
right? No, that's what I'm saying. So when there are things that it used to be question of taxes, right? That would separate conservative Republicans. There was also the libertarian streak in Republicans, i.e., Goldwater Republicans, who felt like, well, you know what, people should have their right to live their life without intrusion from government. And so you had that, but where we're and I was having this conversation with what's my guy, Tim Rogers, and I was saying, he was talking about why Black folks vote Democratic. My assessment has always been, if you look at like Pew Research, it talks about how Black people are socially conservative, but they're progressive when it comes to issues of government, right? Because we're more apt to have to use government services, right? So it's not so much that, the Dems tell us how to vote. I think when people are voting their self-interest, for some people, if I'm an elderly person and I'm dependent on Social Security, I'm going to get with the party that's going to defend Social Security.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, but now it's gotten to the point where, the MAGA movement is frightening to folks, and is frightening to folks because of the person who is the leader of that particular group, and the fear that many people have that if Donald Trump is reelected, right, that he is trying to become like Putin. He wants to be an autocrat. Shouldn't we be a little concerned about that? Not a little concerned, very concerned about that.
First of all, let's go back to the event. That's where the melee started.
Right.
Because Michelle was started
Call it a
targeting
melee?
the melee in Milwaukee. And hopefully Meeks can promote it.
I've
Get
been in
his
a melee
Don King
before. It
on.
didn't look like that many people was there, even to have a melee.
Well, yeah. Well, and let's hope that he can do another one, and we can have that conservative thought. But again, I think that's where she was going when you talk black conservative. Listen, at most, this guy can come back and do 4 more years, 8 more. The party is going to live beyond him. Politics are browning, and they're going to Beijining up if they don't blacken up. Keith, if you understand what I'm saying, they're going to Beijing
But it's
up.
hard to get with that, man. When people have a sense that they're not working in my interest.
No, but that's and so you right, not working in my social interest.
My interest, period.
However, the liberal. However, perhaps some people say the liberal. Okay, let's say that. Let's say that the party's been white, rich, out of touch, seemingly don't care about just unless you're trying to pull your bootstraps up, unless you're trying to work, unless you're sitting around waiting on it. And let's say that's been the party. Now, let's say, okay, I get that. So let's take Trump, like you say, and let people vote for their. And personally, can I tell you, I never voted for the man. Okay, up until perhaps not until I never really liked the man personally as a conservative. I'll say this, and this is on tape. I never really liked him personally until I had to do some searching of my own, Keith, and realize what has this. See, you say they vote, okay, my pocketbook, and man, I'm gonna hurt. But what about the people who morally say, what has he ever voted to hurt black people that was anti-biblical or anti-against the Bible? What did he ever take out of that was wrong? What did he ever say that God said, thou shalt not, that he said, I'm voting in? So what about the people who vote their moral, who live a moral, who say, fine, like my daddy, he was the one who said, yeah, we're getting food stamps, but son, we're going to vote our moral compass. And see, the word conservative means to conserve the values. Look where we've came since 1980 to now. Look what we haven't safeguarded. Look what we haven't been cautious about. Look what's happening. Anything goes now.
What do you mean?
Anything is allowed.
What do you mean by that?
I'll just on so many levels. Things are legislated in, and there's resolutions to do different things. I won't pick out any one specific thing.
I think in fairness to the audience, when you say that, because that's pretty broad brush that you're painting
there is
with.
a change. There is a change in the moral compass.
Okay.
We're either I'm either Greg Kennedy, who has tried the boxing team, who has worked with the fatherhood program, who has worked in prisons, who has went to prisons. I had my heart attack in a prison preaching to men all over this state, who have worked with SDC, social program, Janetta Robinson. Greg Kennedy is either a savior or I'm a sellout. One of the two. I'm either going to help and so the 18 to 34-year-old group that she was so upset about him targeting is the exact, listen, it was almost like, Keith, I don't want to use no name, but it was almost like 18 to 34-year-old men. That's who you want? And it's like, that's my son is in that group. Yeah, we just buried the boy who was innocently hit by an innocent bystander. I hugged his mother. The police chase. I hugged their mothers. I'm there. When they die, when the police are chasing them, and when they're shot, that's the group that if we don't change they're growing up without God, without values, without principles. Why wouldn't somebody say, we okay? Why wouldn't somebody? And
But Greg, people might argue that the head of the ticket of the Republican Party doesn't have principles. You can't talk about a man who's been married and divorced 3 times. When you're talking about values, family values, the top of your ticket should represent those values. And I've seen a disconnect
Keith.
between
That's
the values.
Not fair, Keith. That's not fair.
Why is that fair?
Because that's to say that every Milwaukeean should be loyal to Miller and drink beer, or that everybody.
I'm saying if you lead a church, I think it would be very helpful, right?
I get that.
That you become the embodiment of the things that you're preaching at that church. So if you have a political party and there are certain principles that have impact on people's lives, right? Then the question becomes, why do you hold those values? Are you being true to even those values? I mean, so the fact that you have evangelical Christians who are very supportive of Donald Trump and they will look the other way when it comes to his shortcomings, but then other people they vilify, i.e. queer people. So I'm trying to, how do you reconcile those differences?
Like I told the young lady at the event, and this is where I went, and this is Keith, and I know you got to understand this. My thing was he doesn't. So she was like, "Why didn't he apologize for?" And I was in New York at that time, and I'm going to tell you, with the press and everything they said and everything they came out and all the vilification of the people, we all kind of jumped. Kind of like, hey man, get rid of them cats. They're making it look bad for us. We don't walk around raping white women, So we were all saying get rid of them. But what I'm saying is, Keith, the fact of the matter is that all politics are local, and this was a local event of local people trying to get together and deal with local issues, local issues. I know we can keep going to him. We could keep going to him. I could go to the current administration. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be right or left. I don't want to be Republican.
But
I want to be
bring in
right.
a national person. So if you bring in a national person, it's no longer so much local. I know you brought him in because of the organizing of 18 to the 34-year-olds. Good luck on that. That is probably, it's amazing to me. I always thought about the irony of the 27th Amendment. I'm trying to think. I'll have to look it up.
I got it right here.
Which allow the 18-year-olds to vote, right? And a lot of that had to do with Vietnam, and allowed, if you go to war, you should be allowed to vote. And so we have that. But the reality is that the group least likely to show up to vote are 18 to 34-year-olds. It's a tough group because you got all kind of life going on. And if politics is not your thing, where it becomes your focus, showing up to vote. Yeah.
So the bishop was talking about, and he hadn't even mentioned politics. What he had mentioned, and I think what angered a lot of people, and a few people got up and left, because he was coming out of the Bible talking about Joseph and how Milwaukee and Joseph and Joseph and Joseph and it's interesting, I thought, because that's, Joseph was a young man with quite an anointing on him to be a young man. And perhaps, if we can get these young men and get them work ethics and voting ethics and family values back in the house, and get them caught up on their child support, that's where in the area you work, get them caught up and get them their license and everything. If we can get them, man, most of the time that is a conservative thing. That is safeguarding what mom and them want you to do, safeguarding what everybody did. Those are just conservative values. You don't have to look at it as the head of a party. And if you vote those conservative values, obviously you're going to go over to one party over the other morally. I think right now, Keith, morally, outside of everything else, man, my compass is a moral compass, man. I got a backpack. One day I'm not going to be here so long. I don't know if everybody.
I have a more expansive view of morality. I mean, morality is beyond sex and alcohol and drugs. Morality is also how we interact with each other. And I think we as we come up, we're in the Lenten season, which means that we'll be at the end of the month celebrating resurrection, the question is, when we began to talk about particularly what Jesus talked about, is not even close to what people are talking about in the name of Jesus today. I mean, it's not, when Jesus says that, and you did it, and I appreciate you, because just what you pointed out. Did you visit me when I was in prison? Did you feed me when I was hungry? Did you clothe me when I was naked? Did you provide me shelter when I was homeless? Did you provide me comfort when I was in need? That's what Jesus said. That's how you inherit eternal life. That's the Bible. But we've gotten into other things where we're in people's bedrooms. We want to, we have vilified the other. The whole story of Jesus and the Samaritan talks about the other, right? And how we have people who are coming to this country for no other reason than for a better life. Like the reason why many of our folks left Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Georgia, in the South to move to the North for a better life, only to find out, as Malcolm said, it is just up South. The racism in the North was as virulent as the racism in the South. There might have been some stylistic differences, but the effect was still the same. So I think that that's kind of where we are. Maybe if it's George Bush, he's a little bit more palatable, but he had a lot of policies that particularly hurt Black people. And when we saw what happened with Katrina, and that's the fascinating thing about people who get into politics, and why when you align yourself. I'll never forget the T.D. Jakes. And T.D. Jakes should have been getting in George Bush's behind. He didn't. He didn't say anything. And then he was apologetic for the inaction of the Bush administration, for all that suffering that those people there in New Orleans, it wasn't just New Orleans, right? Mississippi and Alabama that got hit, but he couldn't say anything. He couldn't criticize because he was in his pocket. So I think that becomes the concern that, when we first doing it, the sister there, and I wasn't trying to disrespect her, who was doing the sign-in sheet. And I tried to explain to her, in events like this, I had my press pass on. I'm not here. Right? I'm here as an observer. I'm not here as a participant. And if I put my name on that list is being sold, right? And so that's why I did not sign that sign-in sheet.
And I apologize to her for that, and I'll explain that to her going forth. We're just in a young stage. But Keith, we all never thought it was possible to see a Black president. So did we just envision a Black president having to be Democrat? Can't we one day perhaps see a Black man being a Republican and president? Or no, we don't want a Black man to achieve that high if he's that.
Well, because of the fear of the policies that man is going to trumpet. It is Tim Scott. No, I'm seriously. It's Tim Scott saying that there is no racism in America anymore. No, this Negro got stopped 9 times by the cops for being nothing other than being Black.
What about Bird? What about the young brother out of Florida? What about him, the 44? What about the young brother congressman out of Florida? Wait, what? You heard of him? That's young brother down in Florida?
Who, Donald?
Yes.
Oh, that brother's really lost. That's a lost brother right there, man. He talk about drinking the Weilers. That brother, and I think, I think that
he's an HBCU graduate.
Okay, what is that supposed to be?
He's an HBC. This brother's.
Well, let me tell you something Malcolm said. Well, hold on, brother. Malcolm said this. Malcolm said, "Kittens born in the oven don't make them biscuits."
Malcolm did, right?
All right. So the fact that I might, and you can use that in a sermon, brother. Just because you come to church, don't mean you saved, right? So the fact he went to HBCU, okay, all right, and and a lot of our Black leadership, both conservative and progressive, might have gone to HBCUs. So
we can't have it both ways. Either we're saving or sellouts, man.
No. You know what? And there's a great book if you ever get a chance. I could get it to you if I still have it. It's called Sellout by Randall Kennedy. Randall Kennedy would be considered a middle of the road guy when it comes to issues of race, and he does a great book talking about, maybe you're calling some of these people sellouts, and they're probably not.
That's right.
And I think we have to be very careful because, because if you're doing what you're doing, my thing is the people who say they down with the people who might have a certain label, who then will do something to sell the people out.
Good point. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
It.
All right.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, Key, I need to do this, man. I'm gonna get up the street for a funeral. But we're up on the last break of the program. So let me do. Can I sign off and then we can just go out? How you want to do this, bro?
So difficult.
I know, man.
You could have said that when you came in the door, man.
I'm sorry, bro.
You too busy in somebody else's conversation.
I know.
You got to chastise them like they're your little brother.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Good looking out. You listen to Community Voice. Hold on.
I babble a little bit. You know you good at
that. Babble. Hey, I got to stop saying hey. I watched the induction, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. For all you folks out there, there's a young lady. If you have not heard her, please hear her. Her. H.E.R. Her. Oh my God. That woman is so incredible. She performed with Chaka Khan and
Chaka Khan.
Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. That was Common. Who is this? Is it Sia?
Now, did you want to get off the air?
Well, you just told me to keep talking. You give me the signal to stop.
You ready?
Okay, I didn't know you.
Pay attention.
Is that what the ready look like? Let me thank everybody for being part of the program today, especially Meech, Michelle, Gray Kennedy. Appreciate you all. Callers, we appreciate you.
Round 2 coming soon.
It sounds like it. Good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow, and as always, go from this place in peace.
Open our eyes that we may see to follow ye, oh Lord.